Hey chickadees, it's me Keisha, and I'm here with this week's All Tea All Shade, the Braxton Season 1 Episode 3 review. Want to remind you guys that I'll be going on vacation from August the 30th to September the 3rd. So any reviews that I missed during those days, I will make up when I return. So be expecting those reviews probably like that Wednesday or Thursday. But let's get into this week's recap of the Braxtons. So Mama E, Tawanda, and Trina meet for drinks and a little nosh for lunch. And Look Kevin calls from jail and talks to Tawanda about, his situation and everything. And Tawanda said in her confessional, and I quote, "There has been some charges related to this messy divorce that involves little Kevin. Whether or not it was a mistake with him failing to appear in court, the family attorney is on it." So he locked up for something to do with his marriage. So I'm wondering, was it like a domestic dispute? Like, what happened? But of course, she's not saying because it's not her place to say. And it's probably embarrassing and they don't want to get it out there. But do any of y'all know what the boy was arrested for? Because I want to know at this point. So Mama E tells them that it hurts her that they're not honoring Tracy's wish to get along. But I just need for this family to, oh God, to understand that it goes further and farther beyond a last wish on someone's unaliving bed. You know what I'm saying? This family has deep-rooted issues that have been touched on, haven't been touched on, and has not been healed. There's so much discourse between these women. And it's more so certain siblings. It's Tamar, Tracy, and Tawanda. Those are the three nucleus of people in this family that really cannot get along. Trina and Tamar get into it every now and then from what we've seen. She doesn't really have issues with Tony. The other sisters all get along with each other with really no problem. We've seen Tony and Tracy get into it in the past. We saw Tracy getting into it with Tawanda. We saw Tracy getting into it with Tamar. You know what I'm saying? With Trina. You see Tawanda get into it with Tracy, with Tamar. You know what I'm saying? Seeing Tamar get into it with all of her siblings. It's always been those three that has been the core nucleus of discord within this family. And I don't know what happened with them three. I remember that was, it was told that some M word went on with Tamar, and wasn't it Tracy as well? It was something there with the M word, if you know what I'm saying. But it's that type of stuff, and jealousy and hurt and pain and the verbal slayage that has been spewed throughout the years, that it's going to be hard for this family to ever be 100% solid. I think a lot more needs to be said and done if that could ever happen. So Tawanda in her confessional says, are we really not getting along, or are we mourning the death of our sister? And that right there is the problem. Delusion. Pure delusional. Because what you mean, are we really not getting along? Y'all ain't been getting along for over the last 15, 20 years. What are you talking about? This has nothing to do with the passing of Tracy. This has everything to do with this effed up sisterhood that y'all got. And I think that they need to stop trying to force a square into a hole. Like it's just, or into a triangle. Like what? It's okay, like I said on last week's episode, for siblings not to like each other and not to get along. Just because we're family don't mean that we have to like each other. Who said that? I can love you. Anything happen to you, I'm 1000% there for you. If you need me, I'm here for you. But that don't mean we got to be like this. And I think that if they could acknowledge that and soak that in, everything would be fine. Stop trying to force relationships that aren't there. Everything would be okay. period. Because as long as they keep on trying to force this mess, it ain't gonna never be right. So Tamar and Mama E are doing a cooking show together on the Clio network. Can't wait for that to come out. Really excited for them. Tamar staying booked and busy. They sit down and have a little one-on-one conversation in a park. And Tamar, we find out, is writing her memoir / self-help book where she's talking about her life and everything that she's gone through. And she says that, just when she thinks it's finished, she got more to add because she's living in real time. She's going through all this stuff with JR. I just saw a video literally this week was his birthday. She surprised him with a chain. People were saying it was fake. I don't know, child, but I was like, let me go back on her timeline. I didn't get a chance to do it to see what he did for her birthday. Because I don't remember. Do anybody remember what he did for her birthday? But hey, she like it. I love it. But that's a book I will read. I want to know the ins and outs of Tamar's life, the stuff that we don't know. You know what I'm saying? I really want to know what's going on up there in that head. So her mama is really supportive of the book and tells her that she should call it Under Construction. Then after that, Tawanda is on the phone with Tony and tells her that Lil Kevin was released from jail on his own recognizance and didn't even call to tell her. Ain't been answering her phone calls. And of course she's worried because they don't just lose contact like that with each other. So everybody's worried. Tony's trying not to get too, upset because, it could trigger her illnesses and everything. And she has the Vegas show that she's preparing for. So at this point, Tawanda has decided that they're going to take a trip to Baltimore to see what's going on, So after that, we see Trina continues therapy on her own, one-on-one with, what's her name? Spirit? I think that's that lady name. And right off bat, she says she isn't ready to talk about her nightmares that she has. She was like, it's too heavy. It's too much for her. And she, though, admits that she started losing control of her thoughts after Gabe passed. She said that's when she can trace it back to then. And she says that she was punished by her current husband, Vaughn, for grieving Gabe's passing because he felt like, I'm not going to sit up here and watch you cry over another dude. You know what I'm saying? Which is so ignorant, so childish and stupid. And this just goes to show you certain men just never grow up. This man is damn near the age of dirt and sitting up here talking about, I'm not going to watch you cry over another man. It doesn't matter that they're no longer together. This was still somebody she spent a chunk of her life with, who was her husband, who she married, twice? Didn't they get married twice or something like that? And he helped raise her children by another man. No matter what Gabe did or whatever, he still took care of them boys. He was a provider for her. Was he a shitty husband? Yes. But he wasn't a downright horrible person. You know what I'm saying? So for Vaughn to make her feel like that was just so ick. Ugh. And I don't know, I'm starting not to like him. I don't like the way he be kind of talking to her. It almost comes across like he like her daddy. Like he be trying to chastise her a little bit. It's something just a little off about him now that they married. I don't know. It seems like they got some issues going on in that marriage as well. So she tells the doctor that when she sleeps, Gabe visits her in her sleep and that they have conversations, she's having conversations with the therapist. And she says sometimes Tracy visits her in her sleep and the doctor asks her do you want them to visit you? And she's basically she don't want neither one of them visiting her because it triggers her, it stirs up all of these emotions. It makes her feel sad. And she says when she closes her eyes, she sees Tracy being ill, being sick and losing her color and everything. And it makes her worry about the state of her relationship with her other sisters and how they aren't on one accord, how they're not getting along, how they don't spend time with each other. And it makes her worry about, well, which one of us is next? And what if another sister of mine passes and it's not okay, it's not good between us? I think she feels like I won't be able to handle it mentally, spiritually, physically, or whatever. And I get her worry and her concern, you know. And it's a very anxiety ridden space to be in. She might, I think she has PTSD. I think she might be having anxiety and all of that. I really truly do feel sorry for Trina. I really honestly do. So Trina is at the crib packing because she and Vaughn are going to go with Tawanda and Tawanda's man to Baltimore to find Lil Kevin. And as she's getting her luggage together, they're talking about the trip and this, that, and the third. And Vaughn was like, see, there you go, like deflecting and dodging stuff. And she was like, well, what is it? And he was like, you know, when you came home from your session the other day, you were really quiet and like off to yourself. So he want to know like what happened. And in her confessional, she says she doesn't know if she's ready to share what they talked about, you know, because that's intimate, you know. And he even says, like, I don't necessarily want to know what was said, but I just want to know, like, why you were off to yourself. And she didn't really give him the 100% truth. She didn't tell him, from what we saw, what the issue really was. She brought up Tony and how Tony's illness and all of that stuff worries her and affects her and all of this type of stuff. And so he was like, okay, I understand that or whatever. So she basically gave him that little piece of bait to get him up off of her. And it worked for the moment. But I don't know. It's something a little off about Vaughn to me. No, maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me. Is it just me? Y'all let me know. Do y'all see what I'm seeing? I don't think he's a bad person, but it was, I don't know, just like kind of like the way he was talking to her. It was kind of like I said, chastising her almost. But anywho, so after that, Tawanda is in the car with her kids. They want to go to Baltimore with her, but she like, y'all got school, this, that, and the third. They get to her house and they're about to shut down filming in the car scene and go in the house and do confessionals when production's like, wait, hold up. Come to find out, it's Lil Kevin on the phone. Now, mind you, when she was in the car, she tried calling him again. He wasn't answering the phone. And she like, what is going on? It's been days since she last heard from him. So one of the producers tracked him down via her father. And he tells Tawanda that the police had his phone. And so she was like, oh, so you need a new phone? He was like, yeah. But my thing is, come on now. Whether the police had your phone or not, that ain't got nothing to do with you picking up the phone and calling your auntie and letting her know, hey, I'm out of jail. I'm okay. Just as easy as you just called her back on whoever phone you on right now, you could have still called her. Like, that was weird, and it's some shit going on there. And if you did not watch my video where Big Kevin made a statement after last week's episode, make sure you watch that video. He had a lot to say. I'll tag it at the end of this video for you to see it if you have not. But that was weird to me. Tawanda was just happy to hear from him, but they're still going up there to check on him in person. Because she obviously is still very worried about him and what he got going on. So that was my review of this week's episode of the Braxtons. Good episode. It was way more lighthearted than last week's. Thank God, because I couldn't do that again another week. I'm gonna give this week's episode a B-. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about it. Please make sure to thumbs up this video, subscribe to my channel, and turn on your post notifications so you know when my videos drop. I love you guys, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.